let's say I'm a woman, I'm not even in that space yet where I can talk about money. I'm a little afraid to be around people who are so comfortable with that discussion. What would you tell them, especially given the app that you have? Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening kung nasan man kayong panig ng mundo. Ito po ang Kaasenso with Gerard and Mitch. Ako po si Gerard de la Peña.
Ako po si Michelle Oroso Ople. Of course, mga kwentong ika-asenso, ika-uunlad at ikagaganda ng buhay ang aming handog sa inyo.
At syempre, ikatataba ng ating brain cells. I'm still shooting here from Bacolod. Hello po mga Kaasenso from Bacolod. Kamusta po kayo? Thank you for tuning in. Ano po masasuggest yung magagawa ko dito? Pera pagkain ha? Busog na ako.
Correct!
Well, anywho partner, ito. Anong pag-uusapan natin dito sa part 2 ng ating episode with Rosalia?
Ayun, part 2 ito. If you watch the previous episode, we'll also put the link down below. Kwento ito ng isang app for women. So this is going into part 2. Rosalia Gitao is the co-founder and CEO of Bixie app. At dito sa episode na ito, malalaman natin, ano ba tong Bixie app? Bakit natin kailangan i-download at bakit dinownload na ni Mitch? Ba't dinownload na niya? And paano ito makakatulong sa financial journey natin, lalo na ng mga kababaihan, para naman matake natin ang next step from the basics to really going into all the kinds of investments that you can come into safely dito sa ganitong klaseng, lalo na ngayong pandemya, di ba?
Mm-hmm. Ayan. Okay, sige. Panoorin po natin ang interview namin with Rosalia. Wait, I have a question. That's actually news for me that women would rather talk about debt than money. Are we talking about women in general here or just women from the Philippines?
No, women in general, globally. Okay. Like that was a statistic that I read at the beginning. I'm like, ooh. And I think it's not entirely surprising. They'd rather talk about death than money. Because it's so uncomfortable, because you're like, oh man, it's like, because of spending habits, because of too many times at Starbucks, like
is there like an amount that you need to get into the platform, or it's
totally free.
Awesome. We like free stuff.
We want to make because the whole idea is, we are a business, right? But I learned about fintech from businesses that don't charge clients. And there are myriad ways of making money without actually charging clients. And we know because we have free services everywhere. That being said, we're entirely GDPR data compliant. So it's not about selling people's data. It's really about building a lot of people onto the platform, because people are power. If you have a lot of people on a platform, there's a lot of people who want to be, or a lot of private entities who want to be reaching those people in a platform. Right. So, and this does not come at the expense of selling people's data or exploiting them. It's really about, women are absolutely nowhere in the financial space. We want to be the place where women go to learn and think and talk about money. And so that's what we want to, what we want to attract. And that, of course, is free. Building community is free.
Right. Actually, I'm curious, are there financial experts like in the back end, or that would be adding to that conversation?
Absolutely. So the idea is to have, and we've created partnerships with financial advisors so that they're also involved in the app. So what we do is like, okay, join our app and be, an ambassador to the community. And then the idea is like, women on community can actually reach out to other women who might actually know what they're talking about, right? Like I'm not a financial expert. I only have my financial journey to go on, which is already a lot, because women tend to want to hear a real journey as opposed to like just a financial expert telling you what to do. But there are women on our platform who are both, who have personal stories of their financial journey, but who also have, licenses and like financial advisories. Right. So I think that's another real strength. Like you can connect on a platform to somebody who knows a ton more than I do and that you do about a particular, class of assets, right? And the point I made earlier when I said I was really confused about ETFs. One one of our Bixie users happens to have been a trader in ETFs. So it was really easy for me to say like, hey, I actually don't know anything about this. Like, just tell me anything, like send me any website. Like, I don't even know where to start, right? Because if I Google ETF, I mean, we all know what happens when you go down like a Google rabbit hole. You don't want to go there. Don't Google a medical diagnosis. Don't Google like financial things, because who knows where you'll end up. But just having somebody who I know was an ETF trader, she can just narrow my search a little bit. So at least what I'm looking at is curated by somebody who knows better.
Right. And that's great, because we want to make sure that the information that you get, especially in a financial journey, is well accurate and a bit more empowering than a lot of the fake news and actually scams, right, partner, that are out there.
You want it to be curated. Like, here's the thing, you don't want to be told what to do. And also from a regulatory perspective, we're not advising people, because that's only financial advisors can advise, and you can reach these people. Like, that's the idea of reaching people on the platform. But I think curation, just the same way, if I want to know about, I run marathons, right? If I want to know about what's a good marathon shoe, I'm not going to go on Facebook and be like, what's a good marathon shoe? I'm going to go inside of my marathon apps and talk to actual marathon runners and be like, hey guys, what's like a really good marathon? Because I need to know a specific shoe, not somebody on Facebook is going to be like, Nike. Like, that means nothing to me. Like, I need to know, like a specific make and model of a shoe.
Right.
To understand what I'm talking about, right? So I think that's the idea of curation. We want to curate the information. We want to curate it with partners who we know what they're doing, particularly when it comes to women, and then present that to our audience.
I'm curious, what about the men?
Well,
it's so funny. I get this a lot, which I think is really strange, because you guys, financial institutions are entirely made for and created by men. So you guys are totally fine. No, but that being said, of course, men are welcome on the app. The only thing is, we're the Bumble to Tinder. We literally have built our UX with women in mind, as opposed to, anybody else in mind. So you're absolutely welcome to download the app. Absolutely welcome to join the communities. We love our male allies. I don't know how helpful it is to you, but you know what? Some men might be like, I love talking about finance with all these people all day. Great. You're more than welcome.
That's awesome. We'll put the link down below on how to get the Bixie app. And it's very, very easy. So you just actually download it. It's available right on iOS and even on Android.
I'll join and see what's happening over there.
Yeah.
So please be patient with this. I will throw out the caveat. Please be patient. We released our MVP, which is called a minimal viable product in the world of technology. We're going to be doing new updates and releases every 2 weeks. So we already have another one in 10 days. So all of the features will be optimized. New features will be added. We don't plan on having a fully finished product until at least Q2 of next year. So like April or May is when, things will really be solidified. So I say that because what we want is, why we released an MVP, we want feedback. We want to know if what resonates. We want to start understanding where people want to spend most of their time. And we also want to know what people like and what they don't like, even if it's really painful to hear, because we're building everything with our user experience in mind.
Let's say I'm a woman, I'm not even in that space yet where I can talk about money. I'm a little afraid to be around people who are so comfortable with that discussion. What would you tell them, especially given the app that you have? Yeah.
Where do you put your dirty little secrets? You put them down in a journal, right? But they have to come out of your head. Like, they have to come out somewhere. You put them in a journal. You get a journal and you go sit outside and be like, right, today's the day. You make a commitment to yourself. Like, today is the day I'm actually going to do something about my dirty little financial secret, which is this. And then once you do that, that's the first step. And then you should, once you are accountable, meaning then you set your goal, and then you tell somebody, one person, about it outside of yourself, you're on an accountability journey now. And then people are going to be, and then that person's going to be like, hey, you're like, while you're on your shopping spree buying something at duty free, they'll be like, I thought you said you're on like a different financial wavelength than you were before, right? So I think the first step is get it out somewhere, even if it's just to yourself, and then try and externalize it. Set that goal. I put a post-it somewhere, and then tell somebody. Anybody, it can be an anonymous user. Just you've got to start holding yourself accountable, because you can stick your head in the sand for a very long time. I know from my own experience, and I know from the experience of other people. So that's the advice I would give. You've got to get it out there. You have to take that first step. And I think that, it's so easy in retrospect to be like, yeah, on the other side of fear is freedom. But one of the reasons why we at Bixie focus so much on financial freedom is because once I started that journey, I realized like, oh my God, financial freedom is actually somewhat attainable. Like, you don't have to be a member of, a debt-ridden labor force for the rest of your life. Like, that actually is not a necessary part of living in society today, regardless of what country you live. Mm-hmm. So I started, and I don't know if this is interesting, once I started on my debt repayment, and then it happened so quickly, and I was like, I'm debt-free. I can do whatever I want. I became really interested in the FIRE movement, which is financial independence, retire early. I was really empowered because basically you see normal people, even people who don't make that much money, like they're not wealthy people. And by sticking to a plan, they're able to save up enough money and get enough small investments to literally never have to work a day in their lives ever again. And these people are like 35.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I realized, like, and now they're like, painting in their garden all day or doing whatever they want, like being pop stars. I didn't even know this was a possibility. I always just presumed you had to be rich to like retire early, but you don't. So I implore everybody to look into the FIRE movement. You don't have to do the FIRE movement, but I think it's really interesting to see what can happen when you set a plan, you stick to it, and suddenly you're like, you never have to work again in your life, only doing the things you choose to do. That's super powerful. Like, financial freedom is actually available to all of us.
That's awesome.
So one of the things with FIRE is the first step is you have to set your number, right? Set the number that's going to be enough to live on for X amount of years. So if you're like, I want to FIRE by 40 years old, your average life expectancy is like 86 years, right? Which means you have to figure out, how am I going to have enough money to live every day for 46 more years? And then you come up with a number based on that, right? So if you're the kind of person that's like, oh, I can live happily on, 50,000 or 25,000 US a year, right? You set that number and then you work backwards. And it's incredible that it actually works. Like, it actually works for people. So I think that's why we focus so much on financial freedom. I don't just want people to be like, oh, I'll be okay for, 1 year of my life. Like, why should we all be debt-ridden members of the capitalist labor force if we don't have to be? There's absolutely other options, and those options are absolutely within our reach. So why don't we try to do that?
Right. And let's take that first step. How do they find and download the app?
And invite them.
So you can download us. We're on Apple Store and Google Play Store under Bixie or My Bixie. You can also visit our website at www.mybixie.com. We're all across social media. Join the conversation. We have our Facebook community, our Instagram, and our LinkedIn and Twitter. And we absolutely implore everybody, join. We have a Facebook community. Please join there. Join the apps community. But the most important thing is, if for whoever's watching, when Michelle asked, like, what would be my advice on that first step, don't just watch this and walk away and, get a Starbucks and go back on lasagna. Take this opportunity, literally take this as a sign from the universe. This is your moment to do something about it today, and tell yourself that as of this Saturday, 6th of November, I am going to be a changed person. And by Monday, I'm going to start putting my new plan into action. Take advantage of this time that you have and this opportunity, because it is absolutely life-changing. And I know this for a personal fact. So
Right.
good luck in your financial journey. Let Bixie help you to get there. But take this opportunity to do something about it today.
Awesome. Of course, we'll put the links down below to how you can get the app and even the website. Rosalia, you are a gem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are so inspired. We could go on for another hour. I think this is enough for 2 episodes. Thank you so much, Rosalia.
Thank you
so much for having me. And thank you so much for having this channel. It's fantastic, and I'm sure it's changing many, many lives, one day at a time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you ulit, Rosalia. That was very insightful. Alam mo, partner, ang isa sa mga key takeaways ko dito sa pangalawang episode with Rosalia, yun nga, ang ating mga kababaihan, lalo nga dito sa atin kasi nga hindi tayo tinuruan ng finances, ganyan. So, ang dami sa kanilang takot harapin ang kanilang fears pagdating sa pera. And of course, we need community para kumbaga sa akayin tayo sa kung ano mang problema natin. At ito palang partner, 'di ba? Isa pang revelation from Rosalia, 'di ba? Na parang ang mga tao parang takot sila magtanong dun sa totoong expert. So they'd rather hear yung experience ng kapwa nila kaysa magtanong sa experts. Pero so ito magandang platform to kasi kumbaga sa pare-pareho kayo ng path na nilalakaran. So magandang sharing experience, 'di ba, kung sakali.
Oo. Ako, the word for me is accountability. And yun nga, ito sa learning experience for me to know na community plays such a huge part in, a financial journey, 'di ba? Kumbaga, 'di ba sabi nila, tell us who your 5 friends are and we will tell you who you are, 'di ba? So ang ganda lang na merong options, and yun naman ang mission natin dito sa Kaasenso, yung madala lahat ng options para maging mas madali itong pagpasok sa isang medyo komplikado na, kasi pag marami ka masyadong options nagiging komplikado minsan. And ang ganda lang na sinasabi ni Rosalia na sa totoo lang, investment should be simple. Diba? The tools are actually simple. So yung community is there to be able to de-risk, diba? Itong mga investment. Ang ganda ng term na yon, na the more you know about something from people who made their mistakes or have the information, people that you trust, kasi the platform is also quite, kumbaga, legit siya na platform, and they really screen the people coming inside. Parang the more you have confidence to try, and the more you have confidence to fail forward, 'di ba? Kasi there are investments, really in investments you will fail. There will be days that the market is down, you made the wrong decision, 'di ba? But the most important thing is coming back up, holding yourself accountable for whatever the problem is, and moving forward with a plan, 'di ba? So ang galing lang na one-stop shop siya, yun pa. Yung pagka one-stop shop na nakakatuwa kasi ngayon prior to Bixie, iba-iba yung apps, 'di ba? May budget app ka, pwede ka pumunta sa website na to para makipag-usap kung kanino, 'di ba? But ngayon, to put it all together and then in phases, know that it will take that journey with you kasi eventually like 6 months down the road, 1 year down the road, they're improving the app. They're also going on that journey para nandun ka na. You bring like-minded people together. And alam mo, when you bring like-minded people together, really powerful things can happen. So I'm really excited about this community. I'm in it. Guys, we'll put the link down below on how you can access the app, diba? It's available on Apple Store and Google Play. Guys, it's free. Try it out, diba? Dito sa Kaasenso, gusto namin lahat, information, libre, accessible. So do take advantage of this. Download that app. Talk to people in the app, and actually yun nga, nandito I downloaded the app, and kahit sa simula pa lang, ito yan, yung setting the financial goals. Mitikuloso siya, tatanungin ka talaga magkano ba, kailan mo itong gusto ma-achieve, ganyan-ganyan. Para kang may kausap na financial advisor, but it's all in the app. And then that's just part 1. There's part 2 where you talk to the people in the forum based on your interests, diba? And then there's so much more coming dito. So join it join it now, and take that journey with a lot of the people. Ang galing partner.
Partner, alam mo, napaka-handy na tool niyan at saka napaka-importante without us realizing, partner. Kasi ngayon, as we tape this episode, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. Ang daming may medical problems, ang daming may financial problems, ang daming hindi handa na harapin itong pandemya na mawawala ng trabaho or may magkakasakit sa pamilya at grabe yung gastos, 'di ba? So itong pagpaplano ng ating finances is really something that we should really take seriously.
Right.
Like katulad ng retirement, kunyari, yung sinasabi ni Rosalia. Like, for example, gusto mo mag-retire when you are 40. Oy, 40 na ako next year. So, retire na ako next year. Hindi pa yata. Not because hindi ko pa kayang mag-retire din financially, but I'm not yet in the mood for retirement, really. Diba, ito partner ko naman, kunyari magre-retire ako next year. 40 na ako next year. Yung sinabi niya, di ba, every year or every month, ano ba yung nakikita mong gagastosin mo? So compute. Tapos for example, ikaw ay mabubuhay up to 90 years old. So compute ka for the next how many years, ganito yung gastos mo. And then kailangan mong you walk backwards, ibig sabihin, so ganito yung kailangan kong erase na pera. Kunyari, ang na-compute mo ay kunyari ay 1 million. Kunyari lang ha, wala na mararating yung 1 million after 46 years ganyan. Okay, kunyari 1 million. So, anong gagawin ko para ma-raise ko yung 1 million? So, sabihin, dapat monthly nagtatabi ako ng ganyan. Alam mo kung anong kahalagahan nito, partner? Kasi if we don't prepare for our retirement, or if we don't prepare for any eventualities like magkasakit ako or what, di ba? Alam mo, dadating yung panahon na mauuwi rin tayo sa present problems that we are facing. Right. Like, bigla ka nang mangungutang, bigla ka magpapastahat. Not that I'm mocking people who do that, ha? Pero para maiwasan natin yung ganon, dapat ngayon pa lang, paghandaan na natin. Hindi yung bubuhay tayo dun sa paycheck to paycheck, utang ka, kakatapos mo pala magbayad ng utang ka na ulit, di ba? So, dapat ngayon pa lang, try natin i-compute, paghandaan natin, di ba? So, napakalaking tulong ng app na yan kasi may template na siya. Susulat mo lang kung ano, di ba? Para guided siya kung ano yung pwede mong gawin, di ba?
Yes. And yun nga, at the end of the day, hold each other accountable. Being accountable means being in control, I think. And we want to be the ones who are controlling our money and not the other way around. Ayaw nating malugmok sa utang. Ayaw nating magka-problemang ganyan. Gusto natin na we literally are free to move and not worry and take whatever medical problems are and really be able to face it kasi napaghandaan natin to a certain extent, di ba? So, yun, it's really, really, kung umabot kayo dito sa part na to, so di ba may part 1, may part 2, nandito na kayo sa dulo. Ang ganda nung sinabi ni Rosalia, this is your sign. Ito na ang universe nagsasabi sa atin. Simulan na. Di ba? Ngayon ang time para if you haven't started in your financial freedom journey or you haven't started thinking about investments, ngayon na. Wala na tayong excuse. Let's start. Let's start together. Andito ang Kaasenso with Gerard and Mitch. Andyan ang Bixie and andyan ang entire community sa loob ng app na yon. This is your sign. Start now.
Oy, gusto ko yung sinabi niya yun na maybe this is the sign for you na kung we'll be happy to be that sign.
Yes.
Kasi kaya nga kami nandito, itong channel na to is to para alam mo yan, para magtulungan tayong lahat. Kami, we try to walk the talk. Ginagawa namin yung mga ina-advise din namin. And kayo na mga subscribers namin, mga tagapanood at tagapakinig, sana ay nakakatulong din kami sa inyo. So sana ito yung sign. Diba?
Yes. Like, share, subscribe, tune in every weekend. Of course, we will do our part para talagang lahat tayo walking this financial journey together.
All right, so mga Kaasenso, we hope to see you next weekend. Kami po ay may fresh episodes tuwing Sabado, 12 noon. So, subscribe na po, okay? Ito po ang Kaasenso with Gerard and Mitch. Ako po si Gerard de la Peña.
Ako po si Michelle Orosa Ople. God bless mga Kaasenso.